see in that third quarter as you're able to kind of battle back in and at least, make it a game going into the fourth?
Yeah, look, expected score, we were down to it at halftime. Expected score, we won by 2.
Bronny James walks into the game in the fourth quarter in 5 minutes and does the usual. Absolutely, positively, not a damn thing.
Lead for the Celtics, 5.5 to go. Two of the hottest teams in the NBA. Bronny James rims out.
Why is this guy still even on this team? Why? Do you know what I think? I think it's time for LeBron to move on and the Jameses to move on from this organization. That's what I think that's where I am now.
Friday night in Boston. Lakers get demolished 126-105. Austin Reaves drops 36 points on a back-to-back. The kid is exhausted, playing his heart out, getting to the line 17 times, doing everything humanly possible to keep his team competitive. No LeBron, no Luka Doncic, just grit, determination, and pure basketball IQ. And then there's Bronny James. 5 points, 6 minutes, 2 of 3 shooting, 1 assist, 1 steal. Garbage time, again.
This has got to stop, man! Someone's got to put an end to this shit, man! I can't do it anymore! This has just got to stop! Look at Bronny! He's sleeping! How you sleeping? You play 3!
Let me be crystal clear before the LeBron stands start typing furiously in the comments. This isn't about hating on a 20-year-old kid. This is about basketball reality. This is about organizational integrity. This is about what happens when legacy supersedes merit. The Lakers are 16-6, second seed in the Western Conference. They're winning despite the circus, not because of it. But how much longer can this charade continue? Look at what J.J. Redick said after the game.
That's based on shot quality, that sort of thing, yeah.
Is that something you reference regularly, like game to game?
We know what it is at halftime every game. Some of that is, we talk about scoring opportunity battle, we talk about expected score, yeah.
He talked about expected score and analytics and shot quality. He's trying to sell us on process over results. That's coach speak for, we got our butts kicked, but I need to keep everyone positive. And you know what? That's fine. That's his job. But here's what he can't say publicly, what he knows in his gut. This Bronny situation is unsustainable. The Celtics came out like they were shot out of a cannon. 40 points in the first quarter. 40. The Lakers scored 17. That's a 23-point deficit before most people have finished their first beer.
Jaylen Brown is a low 30% off the dribble 3-point shooter. He hits 3 threes in a row in the third quarter. Jordan Walsh, we were willing to live with, his threes. We got to give up something. He hits 4 of them.
Jaylen Brown was hitting threes. Jordan Walsh, a guy the Lakers were willing to live with from deep, dropped 4 3-pointers on them. Derek White was cooking. The Celtics shot the Lakers right out of the building. And where's Bronny during all this? On the bench, learning, watching, being developed. Here's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to say out loud. Bronny James is not an NBA player. Not right now. Maybe not ever.
Let's jack some more bullshit! This is insanity!
It's not his defense.
One lazy gamble and fucked off to the moon!
It's his effort.
So you missed this shot! You're trying to make this Lakers team your second-round dumbass pick!
The Summer League numbers don't lie. At one point this summer, he was shooting 23% from the field. 23%. He went 0 for 15 from three-point range in his first 4 Summer League games. That's not a slump. That's not bad luck. That's a statistical impossibility for anyone who belongs on a professional basketball court. Bronny had one good game against G League competition. You want a cookie? Should we throw a parade? The G League is supposed to be a stepping stone, not a destination. And even there, Bronny has been inconsistent at best. Now let's talk about what this is really doing to the Lakers organization. Austin Reaves is out there playing 35-plus minutes on back-to-backs, throwing his body around, getting hacked and bruised, carrying the offensive load when the stars are out.
He's tough as nails. Tonight they were able to focus on Austin quite a bit. We didn't have as many options, but still, he's able to get to the line 17 times.
Gabe Linson is grinding, trying to find his rhythm after an ankle injury. Nick Smith Jr. is getting mop-up minutes, trying to prove he belongs. Max Christie is fighting for every second of playing time. And Bronny James has a guaranteed 4-year contract worth $7.9 million. The 55th pick in the draft, a kid who averaged 4.8 points, 2.8 rebounds, and 2.1 assists in one season at USC. A kid who suffered cardiac arrest and missed months of development. A kid who every legitimate draft analyst said would go undrafted if not for his last name, has more job security than players who have proven they can compete at this level. You think that doesn't create resentment in the locker room? You think veteran players don't notice? They're professionals, so don't never say it publicly. But come on, we're not stupid. Listen to what J.B. Vincent said after the game, trying to be diplomatic when asked about physicality and Marcus Smart's absence.
That's the standard I think we're setting for ourselves in terms of Laker basketball, and that's what we need to live up to.
He talked about how all 5 on the court need to be physical, and how that's the standard we're setting for ourselves in terms of Laker basketball. Standard. Let that word marinate. What standard is being set when nepotism trumps meritocracy? What standard is being set when a player gets NBA minutes because of his DNA rather than his production? What standard is being set when the most famous athlete in the world can essentially draft his son and guarantee him playing time? The answer? A terrible standard. And here's where it gets even more ridiculous. The Lakers aren't even pretending anymore. They announced that Bronny would only play home games for the South Bay Lakers in the G League because the team flies commercial and they don't want him on those flights. They literally created a special rule just for him. One standard for Bronny, another for everyone else. Ryan Clark called it coddling and got roasted online. But was he wrong? Was he wrong? LeBron James, to his credit, or detriment depending on your perspective, went on social media after the criticism ramped up and posted about all the negativity in sports media. Then he announced he was getting off social media for the time being. Translation, I don't want to hear about how my son isn't NBA ready, even though it's subjectively true. Remember what happened Friday night? The Lakers got blown out by 21 points. They were down 29 in the first half. JJ Redick threw in the bench with 6:33 left in the game. The white flag was waving. And that's when Bronny got his 6 minutes. 6 minutes, when the game was already over, when the Celtics had pulled their starters, when absolutely nothing was on the line. That's not development. That's theater. It's basketball karaoke. It's the NBA version of your dad letting you drive the car in an empty parking lot and calling it learning. Here's what's really happening. The Lakers organization is trapped. They know Bronny isn't ready. They know he might never be ready, but they can't say it. They can't admit it. They certainly can't cut him, because that would mean admitting that LeBron James, the king, the chosen one, the greatest player of his generation, was wrong. Then LeBron James is never wrong, except when he is, which is now. The father-son narrative was beautiful for exactly one game. LeBron and Bronny on the court together, making history, first father-son duo to play in an NBA game simultaneously. Cool moment, great commercial, moving tribute to legacy and family. But then reality sets in. Bronny can't shoot. He's 0 for 15 from 3 in Summer League. Wasn't a fluke. It was a preview. He's not a playmaker. His assist-to-turnover ratio is concerning. He's not big enough or strong enough to defend NBA-caliber wings. He's not fast enough to stay in front of elite guards. And he's not skilled enough offensively to create his own shot at this level. So what is he? He's a nice kid with a famous dad who got an opportunity that thousands of more deserving players will never get. And before you come at me with, you're just a hater, or give him time, or he's only 20, save it. I'm not hating on Bronny the person. I'm critiquing Bronny the basketball player and the system that put him in this impossible position. You know who I feel bad for? Him. Imagine being 20 years old, knowing you're not ready, knowing everyone is watching, knowing that every mistake gets magnified, knowing that half the people watching want you to fail just to prove a point about your dad. That's brutal. That's an unfair burden for anyone to carry. But that's what happens when you skip the line. That's what happens when your dad is LeBron James and he wants to play with you before he retires. Damn the consequences. Damn the other players grinding in the G League who will never get a shot. Damn the competitive integrity of the league. Let's talk about what this is meaning for the Lakers moving forward. They're 16-6 right now.
All right, let's look at Austin Reaves' production over his last 6 games. D-Fish, he's averaging 33, 62% from the field.
Austin Reaves is playing like an all-star, averaging 35.3 over his last 16 games. He's getting to the free throw line at elite rates. He's creating for teammates. He's defending multiple positions. He's earning his keep. But what happens when the playoffs start? What happens when rotations tighten to 8 or 9 guys? What happens when every possession matters and there's no room for developmental minutes? Is Bronny going to play? Of course not. He'll be on the bench in a suit, cheering for his dad and his teammates, which is exactly where he should be right now anyway. But he'll still be taking a roster spot. He'll still be counting against the salary cap. He'll still be a reminder that this organization chose family over winning. And that is the core issue here. The Lakers are one of the most prestigious franchises in sports history. 16 championships, Magic and Kareem, Shaq and Kobe, Showtime, the legacy of excellence. And now they're the team that drafted the boss's kid. That's the reality. That's the narrative. That's what history will remember. Bronny should be in the G League full-time, playing every game, traveling with the team, earning his stripes the way every other prospect does. If he develops into an NBA player, great, bring him back up. If he doesn't, cut him and let him play in Europe or Australia or wherever he can find minutes and build a career. But stop pretending this is normal. Stop pretending this is about development. Stop pretending that keeping Bronny James on the Lakers roster is anything other than a PR stunt to let LeBron play with his son. We all saw the moment. It was cool. It was historic. It was beautiful in its own way. But the moment is over. And reality has a way of crashing down on even the most well-intentioned experiments. The Lakers lost to the Celtics 126-105. They got run out of the gym in the first quarter.
You know, we outscored them by 1 the last 3 quarters. Unfortunately, that's not how basketball works, and you end up losing the game by 21. So
they fought back and won the last 3 quarters by 1 point, which sounds impressive until you realize they were down 23 after 1 quarter and still lost by 21. Bronny James played 6 minutes of garbage time, 5 points, nothing that mattered. And that's the perfect metaphor for this entire situation. Nothing that matters. If the Lakers are serious about winning a championship, and with LeBron's window rapidly closing, they should be, then they need to make hard decisions. They need to prioritize merit over sentimentality. They need to be honest about what Bronny is and isn't. Right now, he's not an NBA player, and pretending otherwise is doing nobody any favors. Not Bronny, not LeBron, not the Lakers, not the fans, not basketball. The experiment has to end. The question is, who's brave enough to say it out loud where it matters?